Welcome, friends. My name is Silas Ollegario, and I'm the host of Think Onward, a podcast about books, studies, productivity, and lifestyle. Now, after the intro. Yes, here we are again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for downloading it in Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Maybe you're listening to this on YouTube, and I thank you for doing it. Thank you for following me and for being with me every week here on Think Onward. I'm in love with this podcast thing. Seriously, I'm having a great time. But I like to apologize for two things first. One, today is Thursday. I'm recording this on a Thursday, and I'm recording this on a Thursday, 24 hours after my due time to be posting this podcast online. So I'm so sorry. I've been having a great week, full of great stuff, but also full of things to do, and I'm finding out I don't have enough time to do all of the things I am supposed to be doing, and that's just good and bad. So I would like to apologize to you who are used to listening to this every Thursday morning, maybe Wednesday night. I don't know. Maybe you listen to this on Saturdays or Mondays. I don't know, but I do have a commitment of posting new episodes every Wednesday, and when I don't do it, I just feel bad about it. And so that's my first apology. My second apology is because allergy season is on, and my voice is kind of weird. I try to actually put a little bit more of high on the EQ, but it still hasn't solved it. I'm still a little bit nasal because my nose is kind of, clogged and kind of closed, which reminds me, COVID is still on. Unfortunately, if you're listening this from Brazil, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. You know that COVID-19 is still a reality, killing over 2,000 people in Brazil to this date, which is crazy. Today is June 24th, 2021, and people are still dying because of this damn COVID. And I just don't like it. I just feel like it's crazy. People are still having this disease. I didn't get it. None of my family has gotten it. But now, today in the morning, one of my closest friends, she texted me and she says, "Look, I got COVID." Yeah. Oh my God, really? And yes, I did. I don't feel my face. She said. I said, okay, that's not COVID. That's another thing. No, it's COVID. I don't feel my face. I cannot taste anything, and it's horrible. Don't get it. So because she was close to us, kind of close to us on Sunday, although we were all wearing masks, she just felt that like she had to tell us that she was with the COVID, but that's it. And I actually want to talk about this kind of stuff, about not being able to do, and maybe you already caught it by the title. I want to talk about unproductivity. And it's kind of weird, right? Because the idea of this podcast is talking about being productive and doing stuff that cause you to be productive, and talking about productivity, not unproductivity. But it's a reality. We have to face it, because people think that just because you talk about one topic means that you are 100%, have all that covered. And I don't know, Silas must be very productive. He talks about productivity in his podcast and sometimes even on his YouTube channel. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel, in case you didn't know. Just go to YouTube, Silas Ollegario. Ollegario with 2 L's, and that's it. But no, I'm not. And I follow a lot of these guys who are productivity gurus. Famous guys like Matt Diavella, Thomas Frank, Ali Abdaal, James Clear, which is a guy. Oh my God, let me reach here and get it. The guy from the book Atomic Habits. I'm gonna have a review. I'm gonna make a review about this book pretty soon, because I bought it and I read only the cover and the intro. And I have this thing on my YouTube channel that every in the end of every month, I suggest a reading, and in the end of the same month, I do a review of the previous reading. For the month of June, we were supposed to be reading Being Mortal, one of the best books I've read. And I knew it was going to be great because it was a great suggestion from a friend that knows me, how much I love medicine, and is a doctor who wrote the book, Atu Gawande. And it is very nice. Listen to my YouTube channel next Saturday. It's going to be on. And for the month of July, I bought this book, Atomic Habits, because so many people have been telling me it's a book that changes people's lives. People who have a great amount of trouble finding grip on being productive, but not just being productive, but on creating good habits and getting rid of the bad ones. And although I try to think, I do my best to think that I am a productive guy, and that I am someone who likes and enjoys this kind of stuff. So I do a good job most of the time. I'm definitely not like this 100% of the time. I don't think this is actually doable. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, because these guys, they claim to be very productive all the time. And okay, because they're billionaires, very successful on their fields, I have no reason to suspect they are not, but they are still human beings. They're still, you have to wake up someday feeling lazy, even if it's a Sunday morning. But anyway, that's not what happened this week, because I have a lot of meetings, a lot of stuff to do because of work, and crazy stuff to do because of my visa to go to Canada, and it's very demanding, a lot of stuff to do. I found myself 2 days ago, to be more specific. Nope, not. I'm lying. It was this Wednesday. It was yesterday. I felt myself in this weird place where my mind was so frustrated because I felt like I had nothing done. And I've been feeling like this for the past 2 or 3 days. I had been feeling like this for the past 2 or 3 days. When I say nothing done, what I mean is that I haven't done the things that I was supposed to be doing. Not all of them, because there are things that I like doing that I have to do. I know that I have to do, and things that you must do. So I had meetings that I must be part of, and but for instance, I didn't go to the gym. Today's Thursday, and the last time I've been to the gym was Saturday. So you can kind of understand what I feel. I'm not an athlete. I don't look great. I have a gut that I hate. My arms aren't that strong because I know you don't see me, so you kind of have no idea what I look like. Maybe if you're listening to this and you don't know me, but I am a chubby guy, and because I'm a chubby, and I decided that I don't want to be chubby anymore. In the end of 2019, I decided, starting going to the gym and working out, and maybe changing my habits, my eating habits, controlling the amount of calories I was intaking every day, and etc. And because of that, I got to this point that I was going to the gym and etc. But then COVID hit us. Gyms were closed and everything stopped, and I continued eating in at home, and I didn't gain weight, but I stopped losing weight, and I wasn't getting stronger because I couldn't work out. When you start going to the gym, lifting weights and doing heavy stuff, bench pressing like crazy and squatting, then you have to do stuff at home like planks and abs training. Abs training is not the same thing. So I wouldn't do it. And then gyms were open and then closed again. Like, all around the world, things were like this. But then what happened was that I found the interest in going to the gym. I discovered it is something that I actually enjoy doing. And going to the gym has become part of my life. However, the past 10 days, so many things have been going on in my life that I've been kind of feeling overwhelming. And one of the things that helps me when I'm feeling overwhelmed is working out, going to the gym. But because of COVID again, we have to, in the building I live, we have to schedule a time to go to the gym. And I think people discover they don't have to pay for a gym outside of the building, pay membership just to work out, when our gym in the building is extremely, it's big, it has all the equipment you need, and you already pay the fees every month. So now every time I can go to the gym is completely crowded and there's no time. And then when the time is available, it's already 11 p.m. and I don't want to work out at 11 p.m. because there was something going on, because now NBA finals and now NHL finals. Right now, for example, I'm watching Montreal Canadiens versus Las Vegas Kings. Las Vegas Golden Knight. Sorry. And I'm watching this while I record this podcast. But also, my wife and I, we are building stuff. We are renewing her. We are remodeling and renewing our house. So it is so crazy, so expensive, so demanding, so. And you might ask, Silas, why are you remodeling if you're moving to Canada? And I understand you'll be right, but it's because some things have to be done. And because we were supposed to be going to Canada last June, 2020, we didn't. And now we're supposed to be going to Canada in August, in September, but we still don't know if we're going to go because visas are taking longer than they used to. So we are actually ready to go, but we are preparing ourselves to stay as well. But after saying all that and telling about my life to you, that are listening, oh my God, Silas, that's not interesting. I'm so sorry. But the thing is that I found myself in this very unproductive day, and not a day, maybe week. Yesterday, we had a lot of things done, my wife and I, but at the same time, so many things, I just didn't do it. I didn't do them. And like going to the gym, like reading. I think today is Thursday, and the last time I opened a book to read was on Monday. And this is just crazy. I've spent the last 3 days without reading a book. I'm not crazy for reading, but it is something that I enjoy pretty much doing every day. And the fact that I didn't do it, it tells me a lot about how my week has been going. But I want to talk to you about this, about these days that you feel unproductive, these days that, oh my God, I had nothing done. Or maybe you did have something done, but you feel like, oh my God, I could have done more. Being productive, it is nice. Being productive is important for your work, for your personal life. But being productive is not what controls your life, or at least it shouldn't be. And when you're too worried about being productive and, oh my God, I'm going to do the dishes while I listen to this podcast. And after I finish, then I go read while I sit on the toilet. And then while I take a shower, I can listen to the other podcast. And then I can have this call while I'm working out and solving these things work. It is important to use well your time, because time is expensive. And if you think about it, we have as long John Maxwell used to say this, because he's been asking, people have been telling him, oh my God, you're a 74-year-old man, you should be slowing down. He said, no, I'm a 74-year-old man. I have to keep accelerating because I have less time than you to produce and to be productive and etc. Of course, he says this, meaning that he has a lot to share, and he still has so much gas in his tank. But what I mean by saying that it's okay to slow down, it's okay to not be productive, is because we sometimes find ourselves being so harsh on ourselves. I believe that we should be our worst and our most. When I say worst, I mean the morals. No, let me go back. I said that when we have to be harsh on ourselves, we have to be pushing ourselves to be better, to be greater, and to do more stuff. And be more active and be more productive and actually do great things. But when we eventually we cannot do it, we just have to relax about it. One of my favorite actors. My God, I didn't say actor, didn't say author. I said actors. I'm so sorry. See how tired and how overwhelming this week has been. I'm stumbling on my own words, just crazy. But one of my favorite authors is George R. R. Martin, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, World of Ice and Fire, and Fire and Blood now. And anyway, I love fantasy books, and he's one of my favorites, absolutely. But he's been criticized for the past 4 or 5 years for not finishing this story, and he's basically being criticized by people who started reading the books after they started watching this show, because now they want to know how he's gonna end the story that the show did a horrible job ending it. Because Game of Thrones, let's face it, the Game of Thrones season 8 was the last one, 7. The last season of Game of Thrones started great, but then just took a very weird turn. They decided to develop a lot of story in 2 episodes, and things just went south. Not just the narratives went south to King's Landing, but everything just went bad, and they went bananas, went crazy. And now he's being more pressure to finish his books and deliver the story that people want to read. And I understand that people are fans. I'm a crazy fan, and I can't wait for him to. I'm gonna start over the entire series just so I can be up to date when the new books are up. But what he said in an interview is that, look, I don't care if people think I should be finishing this book faster. I'm not going to rush it. I have all the time in the world. People are just going to have to wait. And he said one thing. Sometimes I go and I write 100 pages. Maybe 100 is too much, but I write like 50 pages. But some other days I go and I write 2, and there are 2 crappy pages. They're not worth it. So if you're producing stuff, sometimes it's very easy to feel like this. So if you are in a work, in a job that you have to produce things, and you don't, and because you don't, you feel like you're, like me, like I've been feeling this past couple of days, it is completely understandable. It is completely understandable. I mean, it is. I just think that being productive, it is important, but it's not all that counts. And I have to actually be okay with this. Very soon, in a couple of months, I'll be starting a new university, a new course, new professors, new classmates in a new country, which is absolutely crazy. And I need to understand that it's going to be difficult for me. I need to understand that it's going to be in a different language other than my own, which is Portuguese. In a different country that is the summer. There are 3 months of summer. It's not even as hot as the 10 months of summer in my country. And everything's going to be different. Everything's going to be completely away from what I'm used to. And maybe not every day or not every week, I'm going to have this very productive day, very productive, working and studying it, etc. But one of the things that the book Atomic Habits says, and it's actually part of the title. Let me take here. It's part of the title because it says, tiny changes cause remarkable results when you have atomic habits. But these tiny changes, can be both, and I got inspired by this because it can be, and I know in the book it talks about being 1% better every day, or every time you do something, you are 1% better. That means in a 1 year period, in a 5 year period, you are extremely great, and which is nice. But being 1% more productive, or 1% studying more. All these things make a huge difference. But at the same time, if you have a week that you're not being productive, and not because you're trying not to be productive, but because for some reason have something on your head, you're thinking too much, you're overthinking, or just because maybe you lost someone, maybe you had a fight or an argument with your girlfriend, or your wife, or boyfriend, or husband, or whatever it is. There are so many reasons why we get into this point where we don't feel great and we don't feel amazing and we don't want to do things even when we know those things make us joyful. I can use an example. Let me open a little bit more right now. I've been feeling lately like I could be doing better in so many things, but I have not. And yesterday was the Wednesday. I decided with my wife that, you know what? I've been trying this flexible diet because people say that when you diet flexibly, it is easier to maintain and to keep going and etc. But I'm in a stage in my life, in my weight, in my body, in the way I feel that like I don't think this is for me. I don't think I should be the one making excuses to be flexible. I am in a point in my life, in a point in my body, the way I look myself in the mirror, that I don't enjoy what I see. And the reason for that is completely my fault. It's nobody's fault. Nobody's making me eat more than I actually spend or making me not going to the gym and work out. It is completely on me. But because it is completely on me, I have two choices. I can change, and no, I have this in my mind that I understand what I have to be doing, but I also understand that sometimes I just can't do what I have to do. It is kind of weird, and people, oh my God, we should have a little bit more self control, and maybe that's it. Maybe the self control, we've been looking at it differently than it should be, because I have so much self control that I don't let these things go over my head. Because when I have other things that are going over my head, I don't need to feel bad about not doing something. I don't need to feel bad about not being productive, about not working out, about not going to McDonald's this week. And I think this is something you should think about in your life. If you're going through some time that you're being really productive, that's great. And I hope I can get this grip by tomorrow. But we have to understand that sometimes in life we have these moments that sometimes we don't feel as great. And because of this, sometimes we don't want to do things that we know we should do. And I just want to say that that's okay. I have to believe that that's okay. I don't want to live a life where I am overwhelmed by my own standards, where I feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so. And that's what when I minutes ago when I talked about being too harsh on yourself. I don't want to be too harsh on myself at the point that I establish a standard for me that I cannot keep up. Until I learn how to keep up with the level of and the standard that I create, I'm gonna change and adapt to the quality of day and quality of night and quality of work and quality of working out and quality of sleep and quality of everything that I can, so I can do my best. But even in moments and days that I cannot do what I have to do, I'm still gonna keep going. There's no other way in life besides going forward. Thinking backwards, it's counterproductive. Thinking onward is the only way to go. And so don't beat yourself up, If you haven't been to the gym this week, you still have time. Tomorrow is still Thursday, it's still Friday. week is not over yet. You can go on Saturdays. There's nothing wrong on starting things on Saturdays or Sundays, so you can do it, and you should do it as I am gonna do it, because sometimes all you need is a little push. It is a little example of someone being going through the same things as we are, so we understand that we are not alone. And that's what I want to tell you today. You're not alone if you are feeling unproductive. But let's keep up. Let's be productive. Let's do stuff, but do it on your own pace. Okay, do it as you will. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know if it was an interesting thing, but I just felt like I wanted to talk about this kind of stuff. Okay, yeah. See you on next Saturday. Yes, on my YouTube channel next weekend, and see you next week. I promise. This time, next Wednesday, I'm gonna make a promise, and I'm gonna write this down. Next Wednesday morning, my podcast will be available, so you can listen to the next episode next Wednesday morning. Okay, I promise. And that's it. See you next time.